Understanding the unique utility of OKRs versus SMART goals. In this article, you'll learn about the differences between OKR and SMART goals from seasoned experts, and discover how these methodologies work together. Included on this page, you'll learn the difference between OKR and SMART goals, when to use OKRs versus SMART goals, and the pros and cons of each method. You'll also find a variety of free downloadable templates for both OKR and SMART goal writing. OKRs versus SMART goals, what's the difference? Objectives and key results, OKRs, and SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, are two methods of defining goals or objectives for an organization, project, or individual. Since the 1980s, SMART goals have provided a structured framework for targeting efforts and achieving goals. But in recent years, many startups and multinational enterprises have adopted the objectives and key results, OKRs, method, which centers on bigger picture aims. For an in-depth explanation of what OKRs can offer, read Essential Guide to OKRs. SMART goals are comparable to the key results part of OKRs, but how do these methodologies differ and how do they work together? A set of OKRs in an organization should align and reinforce each other, explains Daniel Montgomery, Managing Director of Agile Strategies. With SMART goals, you're just talking about the structure of the goal itself. How SMART goals and OKRs are similar. Both SMART goals and OKRs date back to Peter Drucker's theory of management by objectives, MBO. Despite some differences, both OKRs and SMART goals offer a method for creating precise goals that are realistic and time-bound. Both OKRs and SMART goals can align corporate and team goals for businesses, non-profits, and individuals. Just as SMART goals require a specific justification for the effort, OKRs ask you to define the why behind your objectives. In essence, key results are SMART goals. Key differentiators for OKRs. In OKRs, the objectives provide general, inspirational aims, while the key results detail the time-based metrics by which you gauge success. OKRs are typically both less specific and more aspirational than SMART goals, and as such, they often encourage the journey toward cultural change or a breakthrough development. Remember, key results aren't just about achieving a self-contained goal. Therefore, OKRs may also more accurately indicate organization-wide success and progress. By having more generalized, agile objectives, you can change key results as necessary to take advantage of changing circumstances. Furthermore, because employees review them quarterly, OKRs provide a great way to adjust goals throughout the year as managers observe how the team works. You can find examples of OKRs by reading free OKR examples for every department. In contrast, SMART goals tend to measure a single metric, such as profitability or quality. These goals focus and track discrete individual efforts, but can still move a business or an individual forward. Sometimes, management will write and cascade SMART goals throughout the organization to ensure the quality and consistency of results. SMART goals are also frequently tied to compensation, whereas compensation is gauged separately from OKR achievement to encourage experimentation or a useful fail, wherein a team may grow capabilities but not fully achieve an aspirational goal. Because SMART goals must be attainable, some users believe goals can devolve into a to-do list of results, rather than providing breakthrough development for an organization. Likewise, by focusing on tasks or personal growth, SMART goals can risk becoming disconnected from the strategic picture. When goals are tied to performance reviews, bonuses, or compensation, employees can fall into the trap of sandbagging or creating easily achieved tasks. Worse yet, people may set useless goals simply because they are achievable. Some experts also believe the emphasis on attainability constrains the aspirational possibilities of SMART goals. To see examples and writing tips for SMART goals, read the Essential Guide to Writing SMART Goals. Organizations tend to set SMART goals annually, although some do this quarterly, and OKRs on quarterly or monthly cycles, which makes them more agile than SMART goals. Because of the extended cadence, SMART goals may be less flexible than OKRs in responding to the market or other outside factors. SMART goals may take longer to set up than OKRs because they are often more rigorously cascaded throughout the organization. As a result, individuals' goals are dependent on those of their superiors. Montgomery characterizes the difference between SMART goals and OKRs this way: with SMART, there's no objective. In the OKR approach, the objective is an aspirational statement that ties into the strategy. SMART goals just stand on their own as quantitative results. I would say that SMART is a necessary but not sufficient condition. It's one piece of the puzzle, but incomplete by itself. When to use OKRs versus SMART goals. OKR and SMART methodologies have distinct choices. When choosing which method to use, consider the following qualities of your endeavor. Use OKRs in the following situations. When you have a clear destination, OKRs should represent what you most want to pursue or accomplish in a quarter. When you are developing long-term goals, drawing on top-level strategic objectives, groups and teams should contribute directly to setting quarterly or longer-term targets. When you have goals that will evolve, OKRs offer flexibility. The weekly review cadence provides a way to track success on a more minute scale. Frequently reviewing goals also helps you to monitor changes that may require you to shift or drop key results. Most goal setting is annual, both for strategic plans, which may include a 3 to 5 year strategic outlook, and at the level of an individual employee, explains Montgomery, author of Start Less, Finish More, Building Strategic Agility with OKRs. The thing is, a year can be a long time, especially in today's organizational world. What happens with OKRs is that you create a quarterly cadence of setting and reviewing goals. That way, you have a more frequent strategic conversation about what's going on in your environment. To create an extra level of organizational context, well-aligned OKRs that are transparent confirm OKRs as ideal for aligning efforts throughout an organization. Doug Gray is CEO of Action Learning Associates, LLC, and author of Objectives Plus Key Results, OKR, Leadership, How to Apply Silicon Valley's Secret Sauce to Your Career, Team or Organization. He says, OKRs work best for knowledge workers, such as IT or managers, who need to define their objectives, and demonstrate achievement using key results. To set multimetric goals, each key result draws on a different measure of success, like an individual SMART goal. Thus, a single objective includes multiple metrics. Distinguishing between multimetric and single metric targets may matter depending on whether you want to declare victory for the entire OKR package or specific accomplishments. Use SMART goals in the following situations. To provide top-down direction for repeated behaviors and processes, fast food operators, for example, require top-down measures for effective performance or behaviors, says Gray. When you don't quite have a destination, the process of creating SMART goals provides an easy framework for creating a clear, precise goal on a timeline. To set and track discrete goals within a team or for an individual, sometimes, teams or individuals have aims that are important to the team but don't contribute directly to the larger-scale strategic plan. SMART goals are an excellent structure for writing such goals. For example, a lead may want to shape behavior, such as drawing out a passive employee by assigning them the responsibility to troubleshoot problems in a frequently used program. Such a target may not be strategic, but it builds the organization's potential by empowering the employee. Christina Wadk is a professor, speaker, and the author of the OKR-based book Radical Focus and a new book The Team That Managed Itself. There's no dividing line between SMART goals and OKRs, she says. They're very similar, as long as you check in every week to ask, are we closer or farther away from our goal? People need to own an objective and be inspired. KPIs are just all that, numbers. SMART goals may be inspiring, and they have numbers. OKRs offer something for people who aren't numbers-driven. Read our article to learn more about OKRs and KPIs. Strengths and weaknesses of OKRs and SMART goals. Each approach can be useful in certain situations. These are some of the qualities to consider before choosing a method. Adaptability. With a typical annual cadence, SMART goals offer little opportunity to pivot. They work well with a clearly defined target in fixed circumstances. By contrast, with quarterly cadences for teams and individuals and broader objectives, OKRs permit changing key results to adjust for changes, such as in the competitor landscape. Alignment. Ideally, most SMART goals and OKRs are grounded in strategy and reinforced by executive buy-in. Aspirational expansiveness. OKRs have a reputation for encouraging fearless exploration of new alternatives. A SMART goal may promote work toward achieving a specific purpose, after which people start to coast, thus limiting expansion and higher corporate and personal success. On the other hand, SMART goals fix focus on attainable aims. Morale. The narrow focus of a SMART goal may cause employees to disregard other profitable work to meet a goal. When people fail to achieve a goal, they may be demoralized because they can't see the big picture of their total accomplishments. Planning. Because of the specificity of SMART goals, they may take longer to create. Precision. SMART goals zero in on specific metrics and precise time frames, which may be desirable for clear targets in the short term. By contrast, objectives in OKRs are broad, and key results can shift as circumstances change. Tips for setting OKRs and SMART goals. If you're ready to try setting goals, consider these tips for writing product OKRs and SMART goals. Choose your goals carefully. Poorly crafted or ill-chosen goals don't help you. Create team and individual goals. Whether setting OKRs or SMART goals, it's always a good idea to collaborate with employees on setting team goals and to allow them to select at least some of their own goals. Write down goals. Writing down notes or goals can inspire commitment and follow-up in any undertaking. Furthermore, communicating with other team members and across the organization about goals promotes transparency and understanding. Plan for success. It isn't enough to set goals for best results. Participants must review progress frequently, such as in weekly OKR status meetings. Management, from the top level down to each lead, must also plan for success with training and other necessary resources. The useful fail. According to Christina Wodsk, the difficult question for companies is, A. What are we capable of? People fear that the new and different can cause problems with performance reviews. By contrast, OKRs ask, A. What would you actually do if you weren't afraid? What if we went to a new market? What is success? What if we focus on a new customer? OKRs are about how to create a safe base to be creative. SMART goal and OKR writing templates. You can greatly simplify the process of writing SMART goals and OKRs with a template. In this section, we've provided the most helpful free templates for download, all of which are fully customizable to meet the needs of your situation. To learn more about how to write personal objectives and key results, OKRs, in general, refer to our article How to Write Effective Professional and Personal OKRs. Writing SMART goals isn't always easy. With this template, you can define and capture notes on your target, and then define metrics, achievability, and the time frame for meeting that target. Finally, create a precise, clear goal. If you have multiple objectives or need to plan a project, use this SMART goals template, which refers to a high-level goal with subsidiary objectives. Enter the SMART goal, and then determine the metrics and other parameters for each objective. If goal setting is a collaborative effort in your organization, download this goal chart template to list alternative versions of the same goal or compare different goals. Use one copy as a worksheet in the drafting stage, and then create another copy to record the final version of your goals. Google's OKR Playbook. Learn more about goal setting and OKRs. No one has more collective experience in implementing OKRs than Google. As the company has scaled, it has periodically issued OKR guidelines and templates. The following excerpts are drawn mostly from internal sources and reprinted with Google's permission. Note, this is Google's approach to OKRs. Your approach may and should differ. At Google, we like to think big. We use a process called objectives and key results, OKRs, to help us communicate, measure, and achieve those lofty goals. Our actions determine Google's future. As we've seen repeatedly in search, in Chrome, in Android, a team composed of a few % of the company's workforce, acting in concert toward an ambitious common goal, can change an entire mature industry in less than 2 years. Thus it is crucial that as Google employees and managers we make conscious, careful, and informed choices about how we allocate our time and energy as individuals and as members of teams. OKRs are the manifestation of those careful choices, and the means by which we coordinate the actions of individuals to achieve great collective goals. OKR best practices. Writing effective OKRs. Poorly done, managed OKRs are a waste of time, an empty management gesture. Well done OKRs are a motivational management tool that helps make it clear to teams what's important, what to optimize, and what trade-offs to make during their day-to-day work. Writing good OKRs isn't easy, but it's not impossible, either. Pay attention to the following simple rules. Objectives are the what's. They express goals and intents, are aggressive yet realistic, must be tangible, objective, and unambiguous, should be obvious to a rational observer whether an objective has been achieved. The successful achievement of an objective must provide clear value for Google. Key results are the hows. They express measurable milestones which, if achieved, will advance objectives in a useful manner to their constituents. Must describe outcomes, not activities. If your OKRs include words like consult, help, analyze, or participate, they describe activities. Instead, describe the end-use impact of these activities. Publish average and tail latency measurements from 6 Colossus cells by March 7, rather than assess Colossus latency. Must include evidence of completion. This evidence must be available, credible, and easily discoverable. Examples of evidence include change lists, links to docs, notes, and published metrics reports. OKR examples. Templates. In the realm of goal setting and organizational alignment, OKRs, objectives and key results, stand as a versatile and powerful tool, adept at addressing a range of objectives from aspirational to committed goals. At the heart of successful projects, especially in multifaceted environments like Google, lies the art of balancing ambitious aspirations with concrete commitments, while ensuring seamless coordination across various teams. This introduction delves into the nuances of different OKR types, from aspirational OKRs that aim to inspire and drive innovation, to committed OKRs focused on achievable, operational targets, and cross-team OKRs that foster collaboration among different groups. Each type plays a pivotal role in the orchestration of collaborative efforts, ensuring that all parties involved, be it ads development, ads SRE, or network deployment, are not only aligned but also explicitly committed to their part in the collective mission. Cross-team OKRs. Many important projects at Google require contribution from different groups. OKRs are ideally suited to commit to this coordination. Cross-team OKRs should include all the groups who must materially participate in the OKR, and OKRs committing to each group's contribution should appear explicitly in each such group's OKRs. For example, if ads development and ads SRE and network deployment must deliver to support a new ad service, then all three teams should have OKRs describing their commitment to deliver their part of the project. Committed versus aspirational OKRs. OKRs have two variants, and it is important to differentiate between them. Commitments are OKRs that we agree will be achieved, and we will be willing to adjust schedules and resources to ensure that they are delivered. The expected score for a committed OKR is 1.0. A score of less than 1.0 requires explanation for the miss, as it shows errors in planning and/or execution. By contrast, aspirational OKRs express how we'd like the world to look, even though we have no clear idea how to get there and/or the resources necessary to deliver the OKR. Aspirational OKRs have an expected average score of 0.7, with high variance. OKR best practices. Classic OKR writing mistakes and traps. Trap number 1, failing to differentiate between committed and aspirational OKRs. Marking a committed OKR as aspirational increases the chance of failure. Teams may not take it seriously and may not change their other priorities to focus on delivering the OKR. On the other hand, marking an aspirational OKR as committed creates defensiveness in teams who cannot find a way to deliver the OKR, and it invites priority inversion as committed OKRs are staffed to focus on the aspirational OKR. Trap number 2, business as usual OKRs. OKRs are often written principally based on what the team believes it can achieve without changing anything they're currently doing, as opposed to what the team or its customers really want. Trap number 3, timid aspirational OKRs. Aspirational OKRs very often start from the current state and effectively ask, what could we do if we had extra staff and got a bit lucky? An alternative and better approach is to start with, what could my, or my customers, world look like in several years if we were freed from most constraints? By definition, you're not going to know how to achieve this state when the OKR is first formulated. That is why it is an aspirational OKR. But without understanding and articulating the desired end state, you guarantee that you are not going to be able to achieve it. The litmus test: if you ask your customers what they really want, does your aspirational objective meet or exceed their request? Trap number 4, sandbagging. A team's committed OKRs should credibly consume most but not all of their available resources. Their committed and aspirational OKRs should credibly consume somewhat more than their available resources. Otherwise they're effectively commits. Teams who can meet all of their OKRs without needing all of their team's headcount/capital. A broken bar are assumed to either be hoarding resources or not pushing their teams, or both. This is a cue for senior management to reassign headcount and other resources to groups who will make more effective use of them. Trap number 5, low-value objectives, aka the who cares? OKR. OKRs must promise clear business value, otherwise, there's no reason to expend resources doing them. Low-value objectives, LVOs, are those for which, even if the objective is completed with a 1.0, no one will notice or care. A classic, and seductive, LVO example: increase tasks CPU utilization by 3%. This objective by itself does not help users or Google directly. However, their, presumably related, goal: decrease quantity of cores required to serve peak queries by 3% with no change to quality/latency. A broken bar and return resulting excess cores to the free pool has clear economic value. That's a superior objective. Here is a litmus test: Could the OKR get a 1.0 under reasonable circumstances without providing direct end-user or economic benefit? If so, then reword the OKR to focus on the tangible benefit. A classic example, launch X, with no criteria for success. Better, double fleet-wide Y by launching X to 90+% of Borg cells. Trap number 6, insufficient KRs for committed OS. OKRs are divided into the desired outcome, the objective, and the measurable steps required to achieve that outcome, the key results. It is critical that KRs are written such that scoring 1.0 on all key results generates a 1.0 score for the objective. A common error is writing key results that are necessary but not sufficient to collectively complete the objective. The error is tempting because it allows a team to avoid the difficult, resource/priority/risk, commitments needed to deliver hard key results. This trap is particularly pernicious because it delays both the discovery of the resource requirements for the objective, and the discovery that the objective will not be completed on schedule. The litmus test: is it reasonably possible to score 1.0 on all the key results, but still not achieve the intent of the objective? If so, add or rework the key results until their successful completion guarantees that the objective is also successfully completed. Reading, interpreting, and acting on OKRs. For committed OKRs, teams are expected to rearrange their other priorities to ensure an on-schedule 1.0 delivery. Teams who cannot credibly promise to deliver a 1.0 on a committed OKR must escalate promptly. This is a key point: escalating in this common situation is not only okay, it is required. Whether the issue arose because of disagreement about the OKR, disagreement about its priority, or inability to allocate enough time/people/resources, escalation is good. It allows the team's management to develop options and resolve conflicts. The corollary is that every new OKR is likely to involve some amount of escalation, since it requires a change to existing priorities and commitments. An OKR that requires no changes to any group's activities is a business-as-usual OKR, and those are unlikely to be new although they may not have previously been written down. A committed OKR that fails to achieve a 1.0 by its due date requires a post-mortem. This is not intended to punish teams. It is intended to understand what occurred in the planning and/or execution of the OKR, so that teams may improve their ability to reliably hit 1.0 on committed OKRs. Examples of classes of committed OKRs are ensuring that a service meets its SLA, service level agreement, for the quarter, or delivering a defined feature or improvement to an infrastructure system by a set date, or manufacturing and delivering a quantity of servers at a cost point. For aspirational OKRs, the set of aspirational OKRs will by design exceed the team's ability to execute in a given quarter. The OKR's priority should inform team members' decisions on where to spend the remaining time they have after the group's commitments are met. In general, higher priority OKRs should be completed before lower priority OKRs. Aspirational OKRs and their associated priorities should remain on a team's OKR list until they are completed, carrying them forward from quarter to quarter as necessary. Dropping them from the OKR list because of lack of progress is a mistake, as it disguises persistent problems of prioritization, resource availability, or a lack of understanding of the problem, solution. Corollary: it is good to move an aspirational OKR to a different team's list if that team has both the expertise and bandwidth to accomplish the OKR more effectively than the current OKR owner. Team managers are expected to assess the resources required to accomplish their aspirational OKRs and ask for them each quarter, fulfilling their duty to express known demand to the business. Managers should not expect to receive all the required resources, however, unless their aspirational OKRs are the highest priority goals in the company after the committed OKRs. More litmus tests. Some simple tests to see if your OKRs are good. If you wrote them down in 5 minutes, they probably aren't good. Think. If your objective doesn't fit on one line, it probably isn't crisp enough. If your OKRs are expressed in team internal terms, launch FOO 4.1, they probably aren't good. What matters isn't the launch, but its impact. Why is FOO 4.1 important? Better, launch FOO 4.1 to improve sign-ups by 25%. Or simply, improve sign-ups by 25%. Use real dates. If every key result happens on the last day of the quarter, you likely don't have a real plan. Make sure your key results are measurable. It must be possible to objectively assign a grade at the end of the quarter. Improve sign-ups isn't a good key result. Better, improve daily sign-ups by 25% by May 1st. Make sure the metrics are unambiguous. If you say 1 million users, is that all-time users or 7-day actives? If there are important activities on your team, or a significant fraction of its effort, that aren't covered by OKRs, add more. For larger groups, make OKRs hierarchically, have high-level OKRs for the entire team, more detailed ones for sub-teams. Make sure that the horizontal OKRs, projects that need multiple teams to contribute, have supporting key results in each sub-team. Plan and manage company goals. Use Asana goals to set clear company objectives that are directly connected to work, such as projects and tasks that will help you accomplish those objectives. With Asana goals, you have a single source of truth that connects your company objectives with your work. Project templates for goal planning. When deciding which goals to create, we recommend creating a project to track ideas and approved goals. Use the goals process workflow template for a quick start. When creating a new project, choose the Use a Template option. From here, select Asana Curated from the Type drop-down menu, select Goals Process Workflow, and click Use Template. This project has 4 sections: drafting, pending approval, approved, and created, representing the stages of planning a goal. Create a task for each goal, and in the task description, you can capture basic information about the goal, such as name, description, level, is it a company or a team goal? Grading criteria, time period. Use subtasks to capture the process for each goal. The project has rules that will move the goals automatically through the different stages until they're ready for creation. Creating a company goal. To create a company goal, navigate to Goals in the sidebar, head to the Company Goals tab, click plus Add Goal, and choose Blank Goal to create a goal from scratch, or choose one of the existing goal templates for the company. Learn more about using goal templates. When creating a new goal, you can choose an automatic or manual method to update the goal. With the automatic method, you can use sub-goals, projects, and tasks as progress sources. Connecting work to goals. By using the automatic method, you can easily link your work to your goals. Simply select a progress source, sub-goals, projects, or tasks, and connect it through the Goals Details page. As the progress of the source changes, the goal's progress will be updated automatically in real time, allowing you to keep track of your progress more efficiently. For example, if you choose sub-goals as your progress source, your progress will be calculated based on the progress of the connected sub-goals. Reporting on e-goals. Creating a dashboard will help you track the progress of your goals across your organization and provide you with insights to understand their health better. To create a goals dashboard, navigate to the sidebar and click Reporting. From here, click plus Create and select Dashboard. You can use pre-built charts like goals by team and goals by status. You can also create a custom chart and select goals from the Report on drop-down. Status updates on goals. Status updates provide stakeholders with context about the status of your goals and how they are progressing. You can customize the sections of your update and add attachments to enrich your status update. You can use Asana Intelligence to create smart status updates. Integrating Asana goals with Salesforce. You can automatically link the progress of Salesforce deals to Asana goals to get an accurate picture without manual updates. By integrating your goals with Salesforce, you can attach goals to reports in Salesforce, allowing you to monitor impact and track progress. OKRs and SMART goals, what's the difference? When it comes to writing effective objectives, corporate officers, managers, and supervisors just have to think of the acronym SMART. Ideally speaking, each corporate, department and section objective should be SMART. Georges Tidron, there's a SMART way to write management's goals and objectives. In November 1981, Georges Tidron's article, There's a SMART way to write management's goals and objectives, was published in an issue of the Management Review. In his article, Tidron outlined the foundation for what would become the concept of SMART goals, a popular goal-setting approach championed by professionals and managers across countless sectors and industries. Let's take a look at OKRs and SMART goals. What are SMART goals? What's the difference between OKRs and SMART goals? How are OKRs and SMART goals similar? How can I ensure my OKRs are SMART? What are SMART goals? SMART is an acronym or mnemonic, with each letter representing a characteristic of Tidron's approach. He believed goals should be specific, contain well-defined central objectives, measurable, have a quantifiable element to serve as an indicator of success, assignable, now referred to as attainable, have a designated person for the task or goal, realistic, commonly referred to as relevant, must work within the frame of an individual or group's capabilities with consideration to time, resources and priorities, time-related, have an established deadline for each goal. What is the difference between OKRs and SMART goals? There are three distinct differences that set these goal-setting approaches apart. Depending on how a team or an individual chooses to define SMART goals, they can present fundamental differences from OKRs. SMART goals often have different interpretations, depending on the individual or team using the approach. For example, measurement can be replaced by motivation or, as noted previously, assignable for attainable or realistic as a substitution for relevant. And while OKRs are quite malleable and can be used for different types of environments and settings, the acronym will always mean objectives and key results. The quantifiable element of OKRs is the core aspect of the framework. With measurement as an aspect of SMART, on a surface level, the concepts appear quite similar. However, if the M, for example, were to be replaced with mission or motivation, the two approaches begin to contrast fundamentally given OKRs focus on measurement. SMART goals solely craft the objective. OKRs connect key results to objectives for a more strategic appropriation of resources and time, with key results at the forefront. SMART goals, however, are a list of principles to guide crafting an objective alone, with no particular focus on key results or tactics. SMART goals provoke the question, what is the goal? Yet OKRs ask, what is the goal and how do we get there? Objectives and key results should connect like puzzle pieces, with the intent being that if the objective were to be reached, the key results must also be achieved. Therefore, there is an added layer of accountability for reaching the objective. SMART goals are not a framework, they are a guideline. Similar to frameworks, SMART goals offer a structure by defining criteria which is used to inform the process of defining goals. However, while many may herald SMART goals as a framework, they are simply an approach or guiding set of principles for setting and building your goals. How can I ensure my OKRs are SMART? To ensure your OKRs are SMART ones, ask yourself the following questions. Is my objective specific? It's okay to think big, but narrowing down on a central area improves the focus on your goals. Are my key results measurable? How will I quantify success? The establishment of objectives and the development of their respective action plans are the most critical steps in a company's management process. George's Tedron OKRs and KPIs, what they are and how they work together. If your employees express confusion about the difference between OKRs versus KPIs, they're not alone. Many people don't understand the difference between the two, let alone how OKRs and KPIs work together. The simplest way to distinguish OKRs versus KPIs: OKRs are used to reach objectives, while KPIs measure employee, departmental and organizational performance. See also, the HR Innovator's Guide to OKRs. OKRs. OKR stands for Objective and Key Results, and it's used to set and achieve specific goals. OKRs are set for a defined time period, usually a business quarter, and include a specific objective accompanied by 2 to 5 smaller key results. The objective details a desired destination, while key results show how the objective will be achieved. OKRs must be measurable and attainable, but they are often more aspirational in nature. Think of an OKR as a road trip, with the objective as the destination and the key results as your GPS. Ask yourself 3 questions. Where do you need to go? How will you know when you get there? What will you do when you reach your destination? The first question, where you need to go, should provide a clear objective for the OKR. Examples of possible OKR objectives include, grow new business revenue by 50%. Improve customer experience scores by 20%. Select 25 new franchise candidates by the end of the quarter. Train 15 new salespeople. Increase manufacturing productivity by 30%. Once you determine your objective, you need to develop your key results. An OKR's key results are highly specific and outline how you'll know you have reached your objective. Depending on the scope of your objective, you may have a single key result or multiple. Examples include, close $150,000 worth of new sales. Increase net promoter scores from 55 to 66. Select 60 interview candidates. Provide trainees with 3 training sessions by June. Reduce equipment downtime by 20% through predictive maintenance. Most OKRs have more than one key result. For instance, if your objective is to select 25 new franchise candidates, your key results might include, collect 500 resumes from potential franchise partners by April. Select 60 candidates for interviews by June. Offer franchise opportunities to 25 interviewees by August. Once you achieve your key results, you need to consider future initiatives. What steps will you take now that you've achieved your OKR objective? Initiatives form the basis for your next set of OKRs. If you didn't meet your objective, determine how close you came to meeting your objective and build new OKRs based on your progress. KPIs, Key Performance Indicators, Unlike OKRs, KPIs, key performance indicators, do not further the completion of a task or objective. Instead, KPIs measure the success of ongoing processes and activities. Sometimes called health metrics, KPIs vary within industries and even within individual companies. The KPIs for, say, accounting, will be very different from those used to evaluate IT processes. Common examples include KPI measurements of average reply time, count, customer lifetime value, customer service call completion rates, downtime, production rates, sales revenue, SEO traffic, social media shares, tax time, tickets per month, trial to customer conversion rate, visitor to sign-up conversion rates, web traffic, OKRs versus KPIs. So how do OKRs and KPIs differ? OKRs are often used to help companies break out of the norm and grow into new territory. OKRs are often for the inspiring goals that often take company-wide involvement. A KPI measures the success, quality, quantity or output of an ongoing process. More often than not, KPI goals are attainable and represent the output of a process or project already in place. On the other hand, OKR goals tend to be more aggressive and ambitious, say without being unreachable. How KPIs and OKRs work together. KPIs and OKRs work well together. If a KPI result indicates a need for improvement, it may become the key result of a new or existing OKR. For instance, if KPI results indicate sales are flagging, a company might develop an ambitious OKR focused on improving overall profits, marketing, or customer service, all of which could include key results based on meeting the existing KPI. Similarly, meeting an OKR objective may indicate a need to develop new KPIs to measure the company's new reality. Effective use of both OKRs and KPIs requires consistent communication between managers and employees to share feedback, discuss progress, and identify potential challenges and opportunities. When used correctly, both KPIs and OKRs are influential tools for goal management. How OKR and project management work together. One of the most common questions we get asked at Purdue is how OKR and project management work together. OKR is a great framework for focusing on achieving results rather than completing tasks, but this doesn't mean there's no place for day-to-day tasks in OKR. They work together. If you're already familiar with the OKR framework, you'll know an objective sets your focus. An objective describes a point in the future you want to get to which is different from the status quo. Your key results are things you measure, that have a target, and indicate whether or not you've reached your objective. Putting your plan into action. You've decided where you're going, and how you'll know if you're on the right track. Now it's time to put your OKRs into action and plan the work you'll need to do. This is the work you'll focus on that will influence your key results and eventually lead you to your objective. This is where OKR and project management combine. Many companies, teams, and individuals already use tools like task managers or to-do lists to manage the work they do. With larger teams or more complex work, dedicated project management tools often come into play. These tools break down activities into projects containing individual tasks with roles, responsibilities, and due dates. If you're using a project management tool, you're probably wondering by this point if OKR is just another layer of complexity, extra work you need to do that can already be managed within your current processes. In fact, project management is simply a way of organizing things that need to be done, while OKR takes care of motivation, direction, and measurement. In Purdue, we call projects initiatives. Here's an example. A games company decides it's identified a huge opportunity for a new mobile game in an untapped market. The marketing team creates a Q1 OKR with a 3-month time frame. To achieve these ambitious OKRs, the marketing team will need to put together an action plan covering all the projects they need to get done to reach their goals. How OKR and project management connect. With these OKRs in place, the role of project management now comes into play, and the marketing team can spend time planning the exact steps, tasks, and activities they'll need to do for their objective to be a success. One project could be, create a multi-channel marketing campaign to encourage people to leave App Store reviews. Tasks could include, create a campaign plan, run kick-off meeting, brief creative team, review campaign creative, create in-app messages, create campaign emails, add campaign messaging to website, set up campaign reporting, create press release, connect with journalists, launch campaign, review campaign. In the example above, OKR and project management work together. Projects and tasks become the output of the OKR and the key results the outcome. It's important to note here that a common mistake many people make when setting key results is to confuse them with actions, tasks or projects, or use key results as a kind of to-do list. The reason why this is a bad idea is that key results should always contain a metric and they should not be within your direct sphere of influence. Running a project kickoff meeting has no relationship to whether or not you've actually grown your game from launch to leader. It's something you do, but also something you could do 100 times with no effect on the intended objective. If you achieve greater than 4 stars on over 85% of all your reviews, however, that's a pretty good indicator you're on your way to growing your game from launch to leader. Conclusion. OKR is a fantastic framework for setting goals, and project management systems are fantastic tools for getting work done. When they're combined, you have a complete system for managing and measuring all the work you do, from strategy to execution to success. For more on OKR, check out our OKR Crash Course, a great resource for anyone getting started, or for team leads who want to introduce OKR to their employees. OKR examples. An OKR best practice is to start with top corporate objectives which are then cascaded to department or team OKRs. The resulting department, team, and individual OKRs must be aligned with, in support of, and contribute to the top company priorities. If you aren't sure where to start with writing your OKRs, take a look at our OKR examples including company-wide examples, OKR examples for executives, and OKRs for specific departments in your organization. Take the Workfront Goals demo. Using OKR examples. In an OKR implementation, the objective is qualitative and answers the question of what is to be accomplished. Objectives are supported by key results which benchmarks and monitors how we achieve the objective. Key results, KRs, are specific, measurable, and time-bound. Key results typically include hard numbers. Using a tool like Workfront Goals can help you write OKRs, align them throughout the organization, and track progress. Here are OKR examples for various departments, OKR examples for CEOs. Because OKRs are used to align all teams with an organization's top goals, your entire company's OKRs are only as effective as the ones you set at the very top. Therefore, it's critically important to make sure you're setting CEO-level goals effectively. To help set effective executive-level goals, here are some OKR examples for CEOs you can refer to. Objective: sell $10 million in bookings. Key results: win 1,000 deals worth $10 million in bookings by the 31st of December 2017. Generate 50,000 marketing qualified leads. Objective: grow our business. Key results: grow revenue to $3 million, launch the new product, reduce churn to